You ever notice how easy it is to say the right thing, but how hard it is to live it? I mean, talk is cheap, but the damage it causes, that'll cost you trust, time, and even your relationship with God. Most of us have mastered how to sound spiritual. We know the scriptures, we say prayers, we post the quotes, we lift our hands, but when life hits, when obedience costs something, when silence from heaven meets chaos on earth, do our words still match our walk? Because spiritually, cheap talk ain't just harmless, it's dangerous. It creates a false sense of security. It tricks us into thinking we're close to God while our hearts drift. And the worst part, you can convince everybody else, but you can't fool the one who hears what your mouth don't say. And guess what? God sees what your life really is about. He knows what you are worshiping. He don't need all those words and everything that you're talking. It ain't even important because he already know. So if you want to speak and say things and it not be real, you can do that, but it's not going to get by him. Spiritually, I feel like there's a saying, high price, cheap talk. There's a high price for cheap talk or something like that. I don't know how it is. But I think the meaning behind that, it matters when it comes to the soul. Words are not just sounds, they're seeds. And not all seeds grow life, they grow weeds. So let's try to break this down to see if you are growing weeds or if you are growing beautiful seeds that have been planted and it's producing flowers and a beautiful garden. We'll see about that. Just to kind of break down a few different points I'm trying to make, I'll get through like a list that I made. And to start off with it, God doesn't just listen to words, he weighs them. Matthew 12:36-37 says, "But I tell you that everyone will have to give account on the day of judgment for every empty word they have spoken. For by your words you will be acquitted, and by your words you will be condemned." So many people speak empty words. So many. Cheap talk may not cost you anything to say, but it could cost you everything when it's time to be accountable. In God's economy, words carry weight, a lot of weight. They are not just casual. They create, they build, they curse, they bless, mislead, heal, deceive, and reveal. They do so many things. They do everything. So we got to be mindful of that when we are speaking our words. Faith without action is cheap talk. James 2:17 says, "Faith by itself, if it is not accompanied by action, is dead. Faith without works is dead." You can say, "I trust God," all day. But when it's time to obey, to sacrifice, to stand in storms, does your life match your lips? Or are you just saying that? That's where cheap talk turns costly. It's the high price of performative spirituality, sounding holy, how so many people sound, but living hollow. This is true for so many people. It's like so true. Jesus warned against lip service, y'all. Isaiah 29:13 and Matthew 15:8. "These people honor me with their lips, but their hearts are far from me. God isn't fooled by religious language. You can say all the religious stuff that you want to say. People know the people know the Bible, but they live in horribly. Like, you can quote whatever you want to quote, say all the great things that you want to say, but that don't mean nothing if it's not really who you are in your heart. God looks at the posture of your heart, not the poetry of your mouth. Stop trying to say all this stuff and not meaning it. Empty praise, fake repentance, pretend surrender. It may pass with people. People might believe it, but not with God. The devil deals in cheap talk too. Let me tell you, he definitely gonna use your words. In the garden, the serpent didn't use weapons. Let me tell you, listen, this is how he knows how to use words. He used words, just words, y'all. He ain't used nothing else. Cheap talk that cost humanity paradise. He whispered just enough to sound convincing, spiritual even, if you look at it that way. Did God really say? That's how cheap talk works. All echo, no anchor. Like, the power of words out here, how people talk, the things that they say, manipulate. It's bad out here when it comes to words. People don't know the power. It's so much power in the things that people are saying and the way they convince people and say this and say that and act this and act that. With all words, true power is in word-backed action. Okay? You ain't just talking it, you walking it. God himself showed us the opposite of cheap talk. He spoke, he created, he promised, he fulfilled. He said, I love you, and proved it on the cross. John 1:14, the word became flesh. Jesus didn't just preach truth. He was truth in motion. You gotta back it up. Whatever you talk, you gotta back it up. You can't just be talking. You gotta have something with it. And I feel like the spiritual takeaway from all of this is don't just say it. Y'all, come on. You gotta live it. Don't just speak it. You gotta walk it. Don't just offer prayers. You gotta become one. Because spiritually, cheap talk ain't harmless, it's costly. It can delay growth, damage witness, deceive others, and distance you from God just by the things that you say. And at the end of the day, God ain't looking for perfect talkers. It's a lot of them out there that's just out here talking. Oh, you good at talking. He looking for honest walkers. People whose yes means yes. Whose worship isn't performance, it's lifestyle. Whose repentance isn't rehearsed, it's real. Because your words matter, but your witness, that's what echoes. So don't let your life be filled with noise that heaven ignores. Let your life preach louder than your lips ever could. It was nice talking to y'all. I'll see y'all in the next one.